2022. My name is Sharon Rogers, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wells, Maine. That's my Christmas tree in the back. That's coming down shortly. Mostly not because I'm a Grinch or anything, but I need the space back. I really do. My floor right now is kind of a mess. I've had lots of events, or one I'm planning for, or I have planned for tomorrow, and I had a crafting day today, and I've got a team meeting on Sunday. So it's been a little crazy here the last couple days, but I am happy to be on. Be sure to go ahead and put something in the chat, although I don't see where. It doesn't seem to be letting me on my iPad. Hopefully you can somebody give me a thumbs up, because I can see that on my phone if somebody gives me a thumbs up. Oh, there's Sheila. Excuse me. She's saying hello. Thank you. I'm glad you can see me. So I'm going to get ready to turn down in just a second. I want to share with you, as I mentioned in the description of my video tonight, that I was going to share the Christmas cards that I got. So let me turn you down and we can start going through that. Hold on just a second. I'll put you in the holder too. All right. There we go. Let's move my mouse out of the way. I don't need that. So I'm just gonna, while we're doing this, I'm gonna try to get my YouTube working. I'm not sure why. Oh, there we go. It's working now. So I received several, and this is the first year that my handmade cards has come even close in number to the other cards that I've gotten. So usually there's, a handful of handmade cards that I get, and then there's quite a few of the other ones. I come from a good sized family, and lots of nieces and nephews, and aunts and uncles and friends. So I usually have a lot of other cards, but the total number of cards this year for me was way down. I don't know what it was like for you, but go ahead and let me know. I'd love to know what it was for you. I don't know why my iPad is not letting me chat. Oh, I think it's because I'm not signed in to my YouTube account. Okay, well, that's fine. Whatever. So this first one is from my friend Joyce, and a cute little gnome. I love gnomes. I'm so excited that in the new mini catalog there is another set of gnomes. So that's from Joyce. This one I think was from one of my team members in New York. Her name is Leslie, and she used the Lights Aglow stamp set. I'm not sure how much the light is picking up on this, but it looks like she also splattered some gold shimmer paint. This one was from Vivian, who lives just up the road from me. Got this cute little felt snowman in here. This one is so sparkly. Can you see the sparkle? This one was from Jeffrey, and I just love this glimmer paper. That and some dyes, a very intricate dye that he used. Very sparkly. Shiny, shiny, shiny. This, hey Sheila, do you recognize this one? This is from another team member, Sheila, who is on right now. And it uses, for Christmas Barn or something like that. I'm not sure. But it's just so pretty. She colored this, and this is popped up, die cut and popped up on dimensionals. And she used some of our retired snowflakes that I love, that I actually gave out to a couple of people right before Christmas, who placed an order. And just such a pretty, pretty scene. Really is. And then this one is from my friend Sandy, who lives out in South Dakota. She actually was just here visiting, and I got to see her for a brief second. She picked up a birthday card organizer. They are out of stock at Stampin' Up, but I have some in stock. And so she had asked about them, and it was going to be too much for me to mail her because I'd have to also pay for the shipping that it had cost me to get. So then to ship it out. But she showed up, and I saw her on Facebook, and I said, hey, do you still want one? Because I could just give you one now. And so we met up, and I gave her one. By the way, it is almost January, and that birthday card organizer, you can be all set and organized for 2023. If you want one of those birthday card organizers, it's $27. That's so the list price is $25, but remember I have to pay shipping and handling and tax, so it's $27. And I'd be happy to get one to you if you are local. So anyway, this is from Sandy. This is from one of my team members, Elaine. This uses some designer series paper that we had something Frost. I can't remember the name of it, but it was one of my absolute favorite designer series papers. Nice wintry scenes, and this is like a plexiglass ornament. The only thing that I would caution you about, because this is a nice little hanging ornament that I could have put on my tree, but I've got it glued back together with glue dots, but it's snapped in half going through the postal service. So if you have to mail something like this, a good option would be a padded envelope. That might help it a little bit, but it's a beautiful card. And, unless you're, staring at it real close, you can't tell that it's broken, and it's still a beautiful card. This is from my sister, Tony, who, by the way, just had a new grandbaby, Charlotte. She's visiting down in South Carolina. You would think might be North Carolina because the baby's name is Charlotte, but no, that's just the name. So this one uses the Snowflakes designer series paper. It's the fuzzy one, and then she also had punched out some snowflakes and layered it on the top. Really, really pretty, and lots of texture here. This one is from Deb, and Deb was telling me today that she finally used up all this paper. This was from a few years ago, and she's finally, with her Christmas cards this year, she used up her stock of it. So, and she's already getting a start on next year's Christmas cards. That's a really good idea. I need to do that. I did that a couple of years ago, and it was so much nicer around Christmas time than it was this year, trying to furiously get my cards done. This is from Nancy, and I forgot the name of this set, but I probably can't find it because it's in a mini that I don't have around at the moment. But really, really adorable. I think this dog's face is so cute, and this cat. So this is my dog. My dog would totally have that face playing with the cat, and my cat, Charlie, would definitely have this face. He's kind of grumpy when it comes to the dog. And she used some light bulb charms, and so she cared enough to send me something that cost extra postage. So thank you, Nancy. And this is from Rhonda, and Rhonda combined a photo card with some stamping. So she created the photo card and then a place where she could stamp or put a stamped sentiment in the middle, and then just created some layers. So that's from Rhonda. So my count, I think, here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and my non-handmade cards was 12. So next year, I'm hoping that this surpasses the number of non-handmade cards. All right, so just a couple of details here. Celebration starts very, very soon, which means that the end of the retiring period or the last chance list is fast approaching. Anything that is on the retiring list right now, you have until January 4th to order. And we're going to be using the Framed Florets stamp set and dies tonight, the bundle. And that comes from this catalog, which I can't open on video for you. It's one of the Stampin' Up's rules. Until it goes live, I can't open it. But this is in here. But this was also a sneak peek. And I have a stamp class, a stamp camp tomorrow that uses it. And one of the sneak peek items that you could get was this beautiful designer series paper. And last I checked, it was still available, but it's only available until January 4th or when it sells out. And also part of this, let me get it, I'm just going across the room, was this Framed and Festive stamp set. And this stamp set works nicely with the ovals that are in the Framed Florets dies. So this will go away on January 4th as well. So if Framed Florets is on your wish list, at the very least, you don't have to order this now because you can order this in just about a week and get celebration things. But if you wanted this Christmassy set or this coordinating paper, then you would definitely want to order these two items right now before January 4th. Okay, so Framed Florets. Oh, and Celebration, don't forget, Celebration starts, so spend $50, you get to choose something out of here. And I've made a card already with this dainty something, dainty flowers, dainty, I don't know. Haven't learned all the names yet. And I've made some cards with this beautifully happy. I can kind of show you some of those. So here's a card I made, and here's another card I made with the beautifully happy. That's a level 2, a $100 level set. The paper was a $50 set. Here's some other paper, gorgeous paper. I'm going to be showing you a lot in the days to come. Lots of good stuff in here. But I'm going to turn my attention to the Framed Florets. As I mentioned, I have a stamp camp tomorrow. And so I was playing around last night. I'm like, what can I show everybody what they're missing when they're not going to my stamp camp tomorrow? But that a few people who sign up for my stamp camp will get to enjoy. So I thought I'm going to design something else, something that both people can enjoy and look at, and teach a technique as well. I've done this technique before, but it works really beautifully here. And don't you just love the Night of Navy and Gray Granite and Basic White together? I think these colors are stunning. I did my nails in blue to match this. Really, I did. It was purposeful. So we're going to get out our stamp set here. And we're starting with a card that is Gray Granite. So it is a 5.5 by 8.5 layer, and I've scored it in half at 4 1/4, and to burnish it so it lays somewhat flat. I have a piece, and all these measurements are going to be on my blog at stamperhood.com a little bit later. Here I have a piece of Basic White that is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, I believe. And here is a piece of Night of Navy that is 5 inches by 3 3/4. So I just got a little bit of white peeking out from there. I've got a few other pieces, but I'm not gonna bother with those just at the moment. I am, however, getting a piece of scrap paper, and we're going to take the piece of Night of Navy, and I'm going to get my Night of Navy ink pad out. And I am, well, before I do that, let me go ahead. I've got a piece of scrap here. This is an oval left over from cutting out this frame from the Framed Florets. So one of the things that's really cool about this die set is that you get lots of ovals out of one. So this one cuts these two pieces that you can keep together. You can layer them together like this so that it looks like you never took them apart, or you can use them separately. This one, it actually has a couple lines on the outside edge, but that's the other side that from what I'm using. You've got this little ornate frame. You've got a couple other ovals too. This heart one just cuts out those hearts. Perfect for Valentine's Day. So if you have this set, go ahead and use it for Valentine's Day. And then you've got this crimped edge one, and that crimped edge one gives you, no surprise, a crimped edge oval, and it also cuts out the center oval. Obviously, I've done this with a balmy blue piece and a blushing bride, but if this is the same color, they fit together perfectly. So ovals are really great, and they're fancy and they're not fancy, and they're, you know, they are really good for a lot of sentiments as well as images. So let me set this aside. I'm going to go ahead and get out my Versamark pad. Now remember, Versamark is a pad that will stay wet a fairly good amount of time. I'm going to get my embossing toolkit out as well. Just rub that over the cardstock because I don't want the static that's in the air these days, although probably not today, it was so beautiful out. I don't want the static or the oils from my hands to cause places where the powder will stick that I don't want it to. So in the Framed Florets stamp set, I'm going to take out this this dual flower image, and I've got my blocks packed, so we'll just put it on one that's unnecessarily big. I'm going to ink it up in my Versamark pad, and this is an oval, but I'm going to be die cutting it. I'm just stamping right now because I'm not using this oval for some other reason. So it gives a little tone on tone look, but I'm not going to leave it like that. I'm going to get my white powder out. We're using the whitewash technique tonight, or one variation of it anyway. And just pour my powder on. This is going to help keep my ink from running all over. And so with this embossing toolkit, you can just take off this lid. I usually don't even have that lid on there. And tap it in and funnel it back in so that there's no waste. And I can see a cat here and there. We'll pick that out some other time. Now we need our heat tool. And I didn't warm this up ahead of time, so I just have to hope for the best, let it warm up, and make it do its magic. The toolkit, by the way, does come with a set of reverse tweezers, so you can not burn your fingers or your new fake nails. All right, it's starting to go now. So once it turns bright white, move along. If you don't move along, it's going to melt it right into the paper and it will no longer be a raised image. All right, so there's that. Quick and easy, right? While I have this stamp out, now I could use my Versamark and just continue stamping all over this piece, and it kind of gives a little bit of a subtle tone on tone look. I want a tone on tone look that's a little bit more vibrant. So I'm going to just stamp all over the back of this. And I can vary the placement of the stamp so that you can't necessarily see a pattern developing. And let's see, we've got this over here. All right, so now I hope you can see, just have a nice tone on tone look there. Night of Navy is such a pretty color, especially when you put it with the white. I'm going to set this aside for right now, and I will go ahead and do the technique itself here. I do want to clean my stamp because I want to use the block. I want to show you how you can use a clear block for something other than stamping. Look at how cat-haired a Stampin' Scrub is. I need to really put that in the sink and rinse that out. That'll happen another time. All right, let's see. Let's go back in here. Now for whitewashing, what you're going to need is a water painter. Now this is an old aqua painter, but a water painter does the trick as well. You need some Craft Whisper White ink, and you don't need a lot. I'm just going to start with a little bit. You can use a regular paintbrush as well. I'm just going to mix some water in with that. And I'm going to start painting this image. Oop, I'm a little too wet. Hold on. A little too much water there. A little too much water. So let's go ahead and go back. And now because it is too watery, what I will need to do is add a little bit more ink. You probably don't even really need to water it down much. I just find it's easier to blend when it's got some water. There. So I'm going to color in my flower. And I'm only coloring the flower. I'm not coloring in the other pieces. So the leaves are going to stay Night of Navy. But the petals of the flower all get the ink. And what's nice about the embossing is it kind of it acts like a well for this ink to stay inside. Now I can get this to dry simply by bringing my heat tool back in. And I will heat the back a little bit. That helps keep it from curling as much. Now I don't want to hit the heat on it too much, simply because I don't want to make that embossing disappear. I'm going to come in here and just add a little bit more shading in the centers here. And I really did put a lot of water in there, I think. All right. So that just gives a little bit more shading in here and highlighting. So it's not all the same color. I'm going to just wipe this off. I better be done because I'm getting rid of this ink. And I'll wash this in the sink afterwards. Same as my brush. I'll wash out afterwards. Let's hit this again real quickly. That's pretty good. Isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. I think it's pretty anyways. All right, I'm going to bring in the die, and we are going to position this and cut it. I don't have my washi tape. I'm just going to take my sticky note here. I don't want it to move once I've got it in position. I'm just going to lay that over the top. One other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in this die, which just cuts out a sprig or a spray of flowers. Well, I guess it's just a leaf branch perhaps. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to bring in a piece of basic white. and die cut those things. So let's go ahead and bring in my machine. Oh, by the way, Sheila, I saw Rachel today when we were kind of doing some craft stuff at church. It was kind of an open craft forum, and I gave her that brush holder. She was very appreciative. Let's see. What else was I doing? I couldn't see it because the Post-it note was on it. There we go. I'm gonna just run this through. All right. And get these little things fall out very easily. Take my Post-it note off. And we've got my spray of flowers. So let's get rid of this. All right, now it's pretty much time to assemble. So let me go ahead and put my dies back where they belong. I'm going to need these tomorrow for my stamp camp. I definitely want to make sure they go back where they belong. It's upside down, so let's do this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are 13 in the set. I am good to put that away. Now also in the stamp set, there is a sentiment that says, "So lucky to call you friend." And that's the sentiment I'm going to get out today. And because my other blocks are packed, I'm going to go ahead and just use a paper pumpkin block. I'm going to take a little strip of, let's see, I need this for the blue. This is a piece of Gray Granite, so it matches the card front. And I have a little strip of basic white, and I think this is 3/4 of an inch wide by 3 3/4. This is 3 3/4 by 7/8, so it's just a little bit wider, but the same length. I'm going to take my Night of Navy ink. And I'm going to put this over to the right. I totally messed that up because I wasn't looking over it very well. Hopefully I won't get my head in the camera. Yeah, I think that's going to be better. Yeah, that's much better. And I just got my hands inky. I think I was a rookie. Actually, most stampers have inky fingers, I think. Except for Sheila, she's pretty neat when she stamps. Right, Sheila? All right, I'm going to put a little Tombow adhesive on this guy. And the only problem having my nails look nice is very hard to pick things up with them. All right, so I got that layered on there. I also have to layer my Night of Navy onto my basic white. And this was just 1/8 of an inch bigger. So there we go. And then we will layer this on to the Gray Granite piece. There we go, like so. Now, when it comes to putting on the other pieces, you sort of have to play around with them. So this is a little bit long to me. So I actually cheated and cut off part of it. And figured out where I wanted to place this. Must be 8 o'clock. So this is going to go here. We're going to take our whitewashed piece and put that here. So let's see how we want this to peek out. I think I want it to peek out like that. And you know what? Let's try some other pieces. So there's a stamped image that looks like this that I stamped in Night of Navy and I die cut. So we could maybe see what that looks like in there. Is that too much white? I don't know. We got this other piece. I don't like those two together, that's for sure. I think I just like it with the outlines. This one's really not bad though. This is kind of nice too. Let's go with this one. The other one doesn't have that piece. So let's go ahead and go with this one. We need to sort of adhere it all down together. I'm going to put this one down, and with liquid glue I can move things around a little bit as needed. So that's looking pretty good there. But it does slide, so you got to be a little bit careful that it stays straight. And we want to do something that looks like this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to figure out how I want that. Attach it to my floral piece. There we go. And now I'm going to put adhesive all over the back of this. I could put a little bit up here too. I don't want to put it all the way around this because I want the sprig to have some dimension coming out. And I really sort of like it coming off the edge like this. So there we have that. Oh, we were going to sneak this underneath, weren't we? But look, I can still sneak it underneath because I used liquid glue. There we go. And we'll just put a little bit of glue under here. And then finally, to finish it off, I'm going to bring in these classic matte dots. They come in black, and this is a gray. It is not gray granite, though, I don't believe. I can't tell from the package. And it comes with a vanilla, and it comes with some white. My Take Your Pick tool is packed away for tomorrow's event. So let's go ahead and we'll put some of these probably down here, and I'll put a small one over here. Remember, rule of 3, and you want it in sort of a triangular look. So there's my little triangle. And so there's the card. And now all we have to do is we have to cut a piece for the inside, which I forgot to do before coming on. However, look, I seem to have a piece that will go in nicely here. I can do it just like that. It's a little bit long. I'm going to cut something out a little bit from it. And I think we need to decorate it because we don't want that to stay the way it is. So let's see. I think that looks pretty good right there. That's pretty good. Well, let's go ahead and see what we have in here. So we have this same flower, or I mean, we could use the flowers here. We have the same leaves that is on the front as well. I think I'm going to go ahead with that floral image though. I'll just repeat it in there. And I'm not sure exactly why I'm so lucky to have this friend. I don't know if it's this friend's birthday or not. But the greetings in this stamp set, there is a wishes for a beautiful birthday, so we'll go ahead and we'll put that in there as well. Just gonna stamp this right down here. Let's go ahead and stamp it right there. And then we'll put the wishes up top. I'm going to go ahead and, while I've got this mounted, let's bring in an envelope. And I need my scrap paper back. I'm going to stamp on my envelope. Flap. Just the flap. Remember, you want to vary the position a little bit. And then when it comes to the other side of the flap, you just put this in here like so. And this is sort of like a toile, like Deb had used on her card. Over the years, we've had some toile papers and designs. So there's that envelope. Isn't that pretty? All right. And now we need to go ahead and clean this. I need my block. So I'm going to clean off this one, put this away. And we'll go ahead and get that wishes for something beautiful birthday on here. Keep closing my ink pad, but I don't really need to. Ooh, I look like I froze. I look like I froze. I hope you can still see me. My iPad seems to have frozen. And so here we have this. Up, I'm back now. I froze. I don't know what happened. And there's a little bit of a delay. So hopefully you didn't lose too much of it. I don't know where it froze. I wasn't watching the screen. We just stamped the floral image and the wishes for a beautiful birthday in here. I had also stamped the flap of the envelope. You might have missed that. So I just stamped that same image all over the back of that envelope, which makes it really, really pretty. And there is our card. This is one of my favorite color combinations for sure. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me again. I'm going to turn you around for just a second. Watch out. Let's see. I'm going to turn you around. Hey, thank you so much for joining me on our last Friday Night Live of 2022. I hope you all have a wonderful New Year's Eve and that your start to 2023 is amazing. I've got some great classes coming up on June 7th for those of you that are local. I am going to have a new catalog kind of open house that I've traditionally do. That's going to be on Saturday, so watch for that. I'm not sure of the time yet. And then I've got a Valentine's class, I think 2 weeks later, using the Love Cats, and I can't show it to you yet because, I mean, I guess I could show you the stamp set, but it's over there and I can't get to it easily yet. So I think I'm going to do that, but also don't forget I have my Tune In Tuesday. That is always, it's a free class every second and fourth Tuesday. I have Birthday Club the second Sunday of the month. There's a great sign-on deal for this celebration coming up. More about that will be in my customer emails. If you would like to subscribe to my email, shoot me a line, stamperhood@gmail.com, and I will give you that link to do that. You'll get a free download when you do that. But thank you so much for joining me. Happy New Year. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. And for those of you going back to work next week, like me, I mean, I sort of worked this week, but go for it. Good luck. Thanks for joining me. Have a great night.